Hey guys, in this video today I'll be sharing with you my 3 best tips that will allow you to win more fights in game. I know a lot of you guys still struggle to win more fights, so I want you to closely watch this 19 kill game that I got the other night, which shows the various tips that I'm about to give you guys in action. We're also going to be taking a look at some clips that will give you a better example of what I mean. Comment down below and tell me what the highest amount of kills you got in a single game this season was, and let's get right into the video. My first tip for you guys is to fight from cover and always be changing spots to get better shots on your enemies. In this clip here, you guys will see me and Carbon are coming into third party this fight. However, I don't know how many players there are still active in this fight or where they're located. Instead of pushing for high ground, I sat down low and boxed up. My enemies then started to break my walls and apply pressure on me, but because I changed my spots numerous times, they lost track of me, which allowed me to get the best shots on them. In one part of this clip, you guys will notice that I'm actually able to maneuver my box enough to come up from behind my enemy, get a flint knock shot off on her, and then finish her in the end. It's important to get used to this for a lot of reasons, including being able to reload your weapons without getting shot, avoiding a sniper shot from long range to the back of the head, and as I said in this example, just being able to confuse your opponents and get sneak shots on them that will deal a lot of damage. Not every fight will have opportunities like these, but if you get used to building in ways that promotes the ability to fall back to cover if need be, you guys will have more success in your fights. I also want you guys to focus on increasing the duration of your fights if need be. Not every fight you get into will allow you to quickly kill your enemies, especially the really good players. If you're an average player going up against a really good player, it's best to take your time in the fight. My second tip for you guys is learning how and when to play in defense mode. Defense mode is essentially preventing your own death by building cover for yourself. We're going to take a look at a really important clip that shows how I almost died after having a really good game. You guys will notice that I'm going into this fight pretty blindly without having any regard for who's around me. Because I didn't see my enemy in the window, he took a lot of the health away from me and forced me to turtle up and cover myself. However, you'll notice that as soon as my enemy stopped shooting his guns, I instantly try to get away from him by building out to another empty spot in the fight and retaking high ground. In defense mode, it's important that you guys are fast enough and skilled enough to build away from your opponent as best as possible so that you guys can heal yourself and get back into the fight. Even if you don't have any heals, getting good at building away from your enemies and playing in defense mode will grant you more shots than your enemies. Do also keep in mind that just because you got shot doesn't mean the fight is over. I think a lot of you guys still have this mentality that if you get shot, you're almost dead instantly. Of course, if you guys do dip below 130 health, it's time that you start to play a little more patient in the fight and a little more cautious too. Just because you can get killed by the combat shotgun if you get shot in the head. I quickly learned that low HP limits a lot of the different things you can normally do if you were healthy enough. I don't play as aggressive, but I still try and make the plays I normally would with a little more caution in building. If you guys have any way of escaping the fight that you're currently in, don't be afraid to do so. Sometimes it just takes resetting yourself and getting ready to fight your opponent again once you figure out their strengths and weaknesses. My third tip for you guys is build your own positioning. Watching this clip, you guys can see that initially I don't have high ground on my enemies, but I quickly started to build my way above them simply by building a solid structure that eventually holds high ground above my opponents. Because of this, you can see they start to focus Carbon, which gives me the perfect shot on both of them. I ended up knocking one of them with my AR and did a lot of damage to the other player this way. It's important to start to practice builds that you'll use in game, not just the flashy, complicated builds you see in creative. Sure, some of them will work for you, but for the most part, building structures like these will ultimately help you out in the end. I've often told you guys that this season, the secret to winning more fights is to start distancing yourself from your opponents, since the majority of the weapons we have in the game at the moment reward mid and long range combat. I tried my best to distance myself in the clip we just saw, which helped me and my duo out in the very end. Distancing and good positioning go hand in hand in Season 9 to winning more fights against really good players. Accuracy is another huge factor that goes into playing good this season and winning more fights as well. If you guys really want to get better at winning more fights, I want you to start taking shots at your opponent from cover at about mid-range. This way, you'll increase your accuracy and avoid critical shots from guns like the combat shotgun and the flint knock. Speaking of the flint knock pistol, you guys should really start to get used to this weapon. It's such a strong, versatile weapon that will most likely be nerfed or buffed by Epic within the next few updates. This gun allows for quick high ground retakes and is brutal if you guys hit headshots with it up close. At first, I didn't like it because it took up a weapon slot and the accuracy wasn't the best, but after a while I started to use it more along with my AR and my combat shotgun, and I can honestly say that the AR, combat shotgun, and flint knock pistol loadout is pretty OP. Having this loadout will almost guarantee you win every single fight. This loadout kind of reminds me of the pump and the deagle meta. The only difference I would say is that the flint knock is a little better for a lot of reasons. Sure, the deagle broke anything it shot instantly, but you can maneuver fights with the flint knock and even shoot your opponent and quickly pull out your combat shotgun as you're flying away pretty quickly. All in all, I would say that the combat shotgun and the flintlock loadout is a little better. So there was 3 of my best tips to give you guys to win more fights in game. I hope these tips helped you out. If they did, drop a like and subscribe for more videos like these if you are new. Don't forget to use my creator code YTRebus in the item shop. It definitely helps me a lot. Join my Discord server if you guys haven't already. I'll drop a link in the description below, and I'll catch you guys next time. Peace out.